This is a demonstration of the Tenet RMAR solution. This software has been developed for Tenet Select clients to simplify the reporting of fee income arising from regulated and non-regulated activities. This demonstration will firstly provide an overview of the RDR-related changes to the RMAR report. We will then log into the Tenet RMAR solution to demonstrate how you would use the system to log an advisor charge and to log a consultancy charge. We will then demonstrate how the system uses this information to generate certain sections of your RMAR report. On the 31st of December 2012, the Retail Distribution Review changed the way advisors work. Previously, the FCA was only interested in your revenue. However, now you are also required to report additional information about the nature of your services, how you are being remunerated, and how many clients you are providing services for. This information must be populated onto new sections of the RMAR and will be used by the FCA to assess how advisors are operating post-RDR. The Tenet RMAR solution provides you with the tools you need to collect the necessary information to report on advisor and consultancy charges, and it will populate certain sections of B, J, K, and L of the RMAR. It has been designed in such a way that users of the system do not need to have an in-depth knowledge of advisor charging or industry fee blocks for FSCS and FOS levies, making it a simple solution to help you to meet the complicated reporting requirements of the FCA. We are now going to take a quick look at the RMAR report to understand how it has changed since the implementation of RDR. The new sections of the RMAR are as follows. Section B asks for profit and loss data and should be reported on a cumulative basis throughout a firm's financial year. Column C now asks you to aggregate your income from fees, advisor charges and consultancy charges broken down by the advice area, mortgages, non-investment insurance and retail investment products. Section J asks for data that is required for the calculation of regulatory fees and industry levies. Prior to RDR, this section asked for firms to report the number of CF30s operating in the business. However, it must now be populated with annual income, including all commission, fees and advisor charges. Income must be apportioned to the appropriate advice area. Home finance, non-investment insurance, life and pension, or investment intermediation. Section K is a new section of the RMAR and requests information about advisor charges. You are required to report income from advisor charges broken down by the advice model, independent or restricted, the type of service, initial, one-off or ongoing, and how the advisor charge was paid, direct from the client, via a product provider or via a platform. You need to be able to break down your advisor charges in a number of different ways, including by revenue, client numbers, payment numbers, and tariff data. You must also be able to indicate the number of ongoing services which started and stopped during the reporting period. This is a problem for many firms using traditional record-keeping systems. Section L, Consultancy Charges, is also new to the RMAR and is structured in a similar way to Section K, in that you must provide information about the type of service provided and also how the fee was paid. This section covers charges which are invoiced both to employers and to employees. You must also provide Year 1 projections of scheme contributions versus consultancy charges for all new schemes that you set up within the reporting period. If you do not advise on group stakeholder or group personal pension plans, this section will be blank. For directly authorised firms, the collection of fee data and the completion of the RMAR represents a major administrative burden. The Tenet RMAR solution has been designed to minimise the impact of these reporting requirements on your business. I'm now going to log into the Tenet RMAR solution to demonstrate how it all works. When you first log into the Tenet RMAR solution, you will notice that you have 3 notifications. You must act on 2 of these notifications when you log in for the first time to configure certain settings in the system to your business. The first thing you must do is to complete your Adviser Charge and Consultancy Charge tariffs. You access the tariffs from the Reporting menu. Firstly, we will add our Adviser Charge tariff. Select a tariff from the drop-down menu and input your minimum and maximum advisor charge for the advice model you use. I'm going to input a tariff for an initial advisor charge as percentage of investment. You must also indicate if this tariff is a typical or non-typical tariff. You can add as many tariffs as you need to. I'm also going to add an ongoing advisor charge tariff as a percentage of investment. You can edit or delete tariffs at any time by clicking on the tariff that you wish to amend and clicking Delete or Save. I'm now going to add my consultancy charge tariff. I'm going to indicate that I typically charge a percentage of employer contributions and a percentage of member contributions. So that we understand your reporting schedule, when you log into the system for the first time, you must complete your year-end and FSA authorisation dates. To do this, go to the Settings menu. I am going to set my year-end date as the 22nd of May and my FSA authorisation date as the 23rd of May 2011. I'm also going to indicate that my default advice type is independent. Now that all the setup is done, you can start adding fees. To add a fee, go to the Fees menu and select Add a new fee from the drop-down list. The first thing it asks you for is the client details. Any clients who have previously entered would appear in this drop-down list. I'm going to add a new client and indicate that it is an individual client and not a firm. Next, you must select the product type. I'm going to choose Retail Investments. On the next screen, you are prompted to indicate if the client is a retail or professional client, if the sale was advised or non-advised, and if the advice type was independent or restricted. Here you can input a reference if you would like the fee to refer to other back-office processes you already have in place. You can also indicate if any part of the fee is due to another authorised firm in respect to their services. If you are ever unsure of what you are being asked, click on the information icons for more information. We are now in the summary screen for this fee. It is possible to submit a fee that has multiple parts. For example, a fee for the initial advice and a fee for the ongoing service. Once I have added the different parts of the fee, they will be listed here. The next thing to do is to add items. The first part of the fee that I'll add for this example is for the initial advice given. I have the option of indicating that the fee was paid in a lump sum as a standard fee or in instalments. I'm going to indicate that the fee was paid direct from the client, that it is not a combined charge, the amount is £500 and the invoice date was the 1st of February. I can also indicate if the fee is being offset with any commission that you're already receiving regarding products that you have previously sold to the client. In addition to the fee for initial advice that I've just saved, I'm going to add another fee for the ongoing service. I'm going to indicate that the fee was paid via a product provider and that the ongoing service started on the 1st of March. The fee will be paid on a monthly basis and it is not part of a combined charge. I can also indicate here if I have already taken a payment on this ongoing service. I received a payment of £50 as expected on the 1st of March. I can also indicate any commission offset. Now that I have added two parts to the fee, I can view the detail I have input in both the Added Items tab and the Summary tab. I will now save the fee. The fee will now appear in the list of active fees that you can reach through the Fees drop-down menu. The separate parts of the fee can also be viewed in the list of standard fees and also in the list of ongoing fees. You may have noticed that a notification has popped up in the top right-hand corner of the screen to tell me that I have outstanding payments, and I must confirm whether or not I have received them. I can access the Outstanding Payments section through the Fees drop-down menu. The system tells me that I was expecting to receive £500 on the 1st of February for initial advice that I gave to the client David Jones. I'm going to tell the system that I received this as expected. I've already told the system when I input the fee that I received £50 on the 1st of March for the ongoing service. I'm now going to tell the system that I received £52 on the 1st of April, and as expected, I received £53 on the 1st of May. Now that we have added both an initial and an ongoing advisor charge, let's imagine that David Jones contacts me to cancel his ongoing service. Section K of the RMAR requires you to report how many clients start and stop receiving ongoing services from you during the reporting period. To tell the system that someone has cancelled a service with you, firstly locate that fee record in the system. Enter an end date and save the item. You can now see on the fee record that it has been flagged to say that the end date of the plan has passed. Now that we have logged an advisor charge, I'm going to demonstrate how you would use the system to log a consultancy charge. Go to the Fees drop-down menu and then to Add a new fee. I'm going to add a client, but this time I'm going to indicate that the client is a firm and not an individual. I'm going to select the product type of Group Stakeholder, Group Personal Pension. The system asks you, was this advice arranged for an employee? A consultancy charge is a fee that is arranged by the employer on behalf of the employee. The system will ask you for the name of the employee and also the name of the scheme that the fee relates to. The system will ask you for the scheme start date. If you put in a scheme start date after the 31st of December 2012, it will also ask you for the projected Year 1 employee contributions for all scheme members and also the projected consultancy charges for all scheme members. You will only be required to input that information the first time you add a fee for that scheme. We must now add the details of the consultancy charge. You must indicate if the consultancy charge was for initial advice, ongoing advice, or one-off advice. I'm going to indicate that the fee was paid by the product provider, that it is not a combined charge, and that the fee was £40. It was invoiced on the 1st of March. I can see the details of the fee in the Added Items tab and the Summary tab. Now that I have saved that fee in exactly the same way as for advisor charges, you will notice that you have to declare that you received that fee as expected. The system's telling me that I expected to receive £40 on the 1st of March for a fee relating to the client ABC Limited. I indicate that yes, I received that as expected. Now that we've added both an advisor and a consultancy charge, we're going to run the report to demonstrate how those fees map onto the RMAR. To run the report, select Run Report from the Reporting drop-down menu. As you can see, the end-of-year report will generate sections B, J, K and L. In section B, I can see that I've received £695 of fees, advisor charges and consultancy charges that fall under the retail investment products category. This £695 is broken down by the £40 consultancy charge, the £500 initial advisor charge and the £155 worth of ongoing advisor charges. Any commission offset would appear as a negative figure in the commissions column. In section J, I can see the £40 consultancy charge fee is appearing in the life and pension intermediation category. The £655 of advisor charges, both initial and ongoing, appear in the investment intermediation category. In section K, I can see that I've received £500 of initial advisor charges that were invoiced directly to retail clients. I can also see the £155 of ongoing advisor charges that were invoiced via a product provider. All of these fees fall under the independent advice category. Further down section K, I can see that I have received one lump sum payment and also one one-off advice service. The report also tells me that there were no clients paying for ongoing advice services at the end of the reporting period, that one client started paying for ongoing advice services during the reporting period, and one retail client stopped paying for ongoing advice services during the reporting period. Finally, at the bottom of section K, I can see the tariff data that we input at the beginning of the demonstration. Moving on to section L, consultancy charges, I can see the £40 consultancy charge here in column B. There are no employers that received one-off services and no employer clients are receiving ongoing services. Row 9 of section L asks for you to calculate for each scheme the first year's projected consultancy charges as a percentage of the first year's total employer and employee contributions. You must then put the highest percentage, the lowest percentage, and the typical percentage in this part of the RMAR. We entered this information into the system when we added the scheme. As you can see, as we've only added one scheme, the highest and the lowest are both 10%. At the bottom of section L, the consultancy charge tariff that we input at the beginning of the demonstration is displayed. The Tenet RMAR solution has been designed to simplify the recording of and the reporting on advisor and consultancy charging to the extent that users don't need to have an in-depth knowledge of advisor charging and RDR to efficiently input fees. By using the Tenet RMAR solution, you will save a lot of time at the end of the reporting period when your RMAR is due and enjoy the peace of mind that you are meeting the RDR regulatory requirements for reporting on your advisor and consultancy charging. For further information about the Tenet RMAR solution, please contact your account manager or call 0113 239 0011 and ask to speak to the Tenet Select team. Thank you for taking the time to watch this demonstration.